Camera is rolling, folks. Welcome. It is 21st of March. And thanks for joining us here in the studio. Yes. Oh, I just got back from, I was doing a workshop up at in Boston at Indigo Fire. So big hello to all those out there at Indigo Fire. We had a great time. And we all learnt something, I think, so that was good. I'm just here right now. What I'm doing is I've got here and over there some tankets of pictures that what I'm wanting to do is put a raw glaze onto them. They're not bisqued. This one you can see, well, they're at a stage of drying, leather hard. Some of them are drier than others, a little bit going white here at the top. And I'm putting this glaze, which is field glaze, which I dig from my farmer's field. It's basically sort of 85% farmer's field, and it's just got a handful of feldspar and a handful of wood ash in there that I kind of chucked in a bit arbitrarily, you know, not really measuring it out too well, because I added that afterwards. Because the actual field glaze, I'll just show you quickly, when it comes with nothing added to it at all, will come out like that. You see, that's the farmer's field. It's rather brown, but not quite filling in some places, so telling me that it wasn't quite melting. So I wanted to add a little bit of flux material to it, and also a little bit of feldspar, which I did, and I'm getting a different result now, which I like better. It's more greeny and slightly in colour. Anyway, I've done one of these, and I've already had a catastrophe. The first one I did was okay. I'm got to do these, you see, like I do the inside first before I do the outside. So that one was okay. When I came to do this one though, you see what's happened here. You see that crack there? And you crack right down the front of the pouring lip there. So probably crack there on the pouring lip, because the pouring lip is a stress point when you're forming a pouring lip. You are, you know, and then I may have come back later just to sort of give it a little bit extra sharpness in the form, and I might have stressed it a bit in doing so. And it's also cracked here by the handle. This one though, when I did it, I did notice it was rather dry, rather kind of white. What I do, let me do another one. I'm sorry to lose the jug, but in the same way, I'm kind of, well, you know, I need to learn this. The raw glazing and once firing is not difficult, but it's a little bit of a learning curve when right at this stage when we are doing the actual glazing. Do you know what I mean? That's when we're going to get slight problems. If we don't know the materials, we don't know what is happening. So what is happening? Well, when you have a pot that is leather hard, it'll take this glaze better, because this glaze has got quite a bit of oops. I guess I could just pour some out on here for you to show you. I don't know if you can see that. Now I'm going to pour. It's got quite a lot of, well, it doesn't tell you much, does it, by doing that, I suppose, but it's got quite a lot of naturally occurring clay in the soil, you see. So it really sort of applies itself more like a slip. It's not a thin glaze, it's a little bit more like a slip. So when it goes onto the surface of the pot, in this case on the inside of the pot, the moisture is absorbed into the clay, isn't it, of the wall of the pot, which is going to cause an expansion. So what I do with these, I did some the other day, and I'll do another one now. So this is not quite as dry. Let's see how we get on with this one. So I'm going to pour in, okay, swill around, and now tip out, rotating like that. Okay, what I do is then just wipe off the excess on the lip, because we don't want to get a double coating when we do the lip. And now I'm going to give it a spray on the outside like that, to compensate for the extra moisture that is on the inside that's expanding the pot. So I'm adding water on the outside, you see, to compensate. I think that one still a bit of glazing. I think he'll be okay. That one, it almost cracked almost immediately, and I think that was because, if you're in doubt, you see, just give a spray before you even put glaze on the inside. Swirl it around, and now pour out, rotating as you pour. Have a sponge handy. Okay, get as much as you can out. Up, go over the lip, the edge there, just to remove excess glaze, because when these dry, you see, when they dry, or when they dry back somewhat, I haven't got to wait for them to be bone dry, but when they dry off on the inside here, I will then dip the outside of the pot, you see. Now you may be asking, well, Simon, why do you bother to do it like that? Why don't you just dip the whole lot all at once like you would a bisque-fired, or regular bisque-fired pot? Why don't you just treat it the same? Well, I have tried doing that, and it has worked occasionally, but on a lot of instances I did notice in the glaze, after the glaze firing, kind of like fissures had opened up, like the glaze had sort of parted, and there was like a crack appearing. It didn't go all the way through to the other side of the pot. So I had to do a bit of thinking about this, about what was really going on here. And already knowing that some people, I've seen it demonstrated, that you do this kind of glazing in two parts. You do the inside of the pot and then you do the outside of the pot. The reason we do it is because what happens, you put glaze on the inside of here, okay, as this pot absorbs the glaze, well, the glaze itself actually stays on the outside of the pot, doesn't it? What is absorbed is really the water is pulled through into the wall of the pot, and in so doing, the water that's being drawn in through the wall of the pot displaces trapped air that is in the wall of the pot, and that air's got to go somewhere. So when you put a glaze on the inside, it's sucking the moisture into the wall of the pot, and it's displacing the air that's trapped in the wall of the pot out through the wall here. You see, all over this pot here, when I put the glaze on the inside, air is coming out through. At least this is what I'm thinking. This is my theory. I haven't really had this explained to me. And if somebody knows better than me, then please share. The problem is if you glaze the inside of the pot and the outside of the pot at the same time, the moisture is coming in from both sides, from the inside and the outside. The air that's trapped in the wall of the pot has got nowhere to go, and it seems to manifest itself by sort of coming out. I don't know, I may not be right here. I might be talking to complete and utter double Dutch. In which case, somebody enlighten me. But no, I have since I've been doing it like this, you know, inside first and then the outside. I've been having far less, if at all, any of that problem at all. I was getting it a few times, you know. Okay, inside, let's now pour out like that. Let it drip. Let's then just wipe over the edge here to take excess off the lip. And then I spray just on the outside there, sort of like you could say a compensation or compensatory spray to sort of equal out the moisture content between the inside of the pot and the outside. That's when you see, that's when stress occurs, when you have, and it can happen in a firing, where you have one part of a pot that gets more hotter than another part of the same pot. It creates a tension, doesn't it? And then you get a cracking occurring. Likewise, if you're getting one part of the pot sucking in and getting very filled up with moisture and water, then the other part of the pot is dry, that's going to create tension, stress. So it's really to de-stress the pot by doing that. Okay, I'm just going to put these guys over here for now. So, and I've actually got some tankards here. You see, because I'm a little bit green at doing this and I'm not so experienced, there's nothing wrong in not being experienced. You've got to start somewhere, you've got to learn, see. It may be that I was letting them get too dry before I applied the glaze. This is one of our new style tankard that I was showing you the other day. I've just got a few of them here. So I want to do some of these. I want to do some of these in crocodile, and some of them in field glaze. So, all right. So these actually don't seem as dry as those pictures I just did. Let's put some glaze in there. Swirl it around. Wind up your wrist like this, and then unwind your wrist. You see? Like that. What could be simpler? And then go over that edge, give it a compensatory spray, put them on the board. Let me get my I just realised I haven't got my my clamp-on light that I was telling you about the other day. I haven't got it installed. So I'm just going to install it here on the stem of the, and get a bit of light coming. That's better. Got a bit of light there now. Got a bit extra light, you see. Yeah. Okay. So that one we did. Yeah. Yeah. So when you apply the glaze to these, you'll find that it'll make the pot go soft again. You see, a little bit. Just got to be aware of that. Okay, swirl it around, wind up your wrist, pour and then unwind your wrist like this. Yeah, I think I was letting those pots get too dry before I was applying the glaze. In some cases, you see, when we're doing this, we are applying the glaze to a bone dry pot. But not with this glaze, because this has got a lot of clay in it. And it's more like a slip. Okay. We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Yeah, I was quite pleased with these. We'll see how they turn out. We'll see how they turn out. Pour in, swill around, wind up your wrist, unwind your wrist as you pour. Poured it over my hand then, that wasn't good. We won't cry over not spilt milk, we won't cry over spilt glaze. Okay, compensation spray on the board. Yes, and now these, you see, because I just glazed them, they've gone soft, you see. So you have to wait for them to stiffen up again before we apply the second coat. Let me just put these to one side. I was going to bring over a couple more pictures. Yeah, see, these pictures are actually drier than those tankards. You can see they start to go a little bit white, don't they, when they dry. So these, I'm going to, learning from my mistake, I'm going to give these just a spray, you see, just to damp them back a bit. I think it's, let's take the camera off and just have a look in the glaze bucket there. There we go. This is field glaze. Stir. You just want to stir your glaze, you know, after you've been glazing a little while. Give it another stir, just to. All right, let's do another one anyway. Yeah. Yes. So we don't want to repeat that cracking, do we? So. No siree. Swirl it around, wind up that wrist, and then unwind the wrist and pour it out. You see, if you unwind your wrist, like I'm showing you, you'll be able to completely, as you pour out, you'll be able to completely cover the inside, you see. So these are the compensatory spray there. These are the pictures that I did that non-pouring, non-dribble. I've had actually a bit of a rethink about that, as one does. I came to the conclusion I didn't like the look of it, and I didn't care anyway, even if it did dribble. I was more interested in the pot as a whole being. I mean, I don't want it to dribble profusely, but if it dribbles a little bit, I'm not going to. I decided that having a line there was just like getting in my. Finding it was irksome to my eyeball, if you know what I mean. And that I didn't. So I only done one. The other one I kind of filled it in. Pour it out. Yeah, I filled in that kind of line, and I thought to myself, nah. I expect most of you out there thought, well, we quite agree, Simon. We didn't know what you were on about. Anyway, you know, You're getting too fussy in your old age. Maybe. Alright. There's that one. Are you getting the picture? What I'm trying to do here? I hope it's helpful to you. And have a go at doing some. Oh look, this is the one. This is the one, you see. This is the only one I'm going to have like this. It better work. I have to be careful that I unblock that hole, etc. Don't want to find after having put a horrible mark on the outside of the picture that I forgot to unclog the hole. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, just shake off, and now come back here. So we don't want, you see, when we do the second outside coat of glaze, we don't want to get a double thickness right there on the lip. Okay. Okie dokie. Alright folks, well look, there it is. Warts and all. Yes. Yes, this is the one that cracked. Actually, cracked. It quacked quite badly, didn't it? Yeah, it cracked quite badly, this one. So maybe that's the one that we're going to learn from. You see? And I'll do the remaining jugs in my other glaze, which is a crocodile glaze, which is red clay and wood ash 50-50. Just wood ash and red clay 50-50. Thanks for joining us, folks. Please go to my website, simonleachpottery.com. Come and join us for a workshop. There's plenty of workshops there later on in the year. Basically from the end of May, June, July, August, that are free. There's plenty of spaces. If coming on a workshop appeals to you, then get in touch and call me up or write to me, and I'll let you know if there's availability. There probably will be. And yeah, if you need anything in the way of a tools and etc., go to my website, pottery tools there. Basic pottery tools, you know, just the regular cut-off wires, throwing sticks, paddles, etc. And if you're in the neighbourhood, if you're passing by, if you're close by here, then give me a call or write to me, say I'm in the area, can I come and visit? You're more than welcome. I like having visitors, so yeah, come and join me. I'll show you around the studio and we'll talk pots. Talk pots and life. Yeah. Okay folks, thanks a lot. Keep practicing. That's it. That's the secret. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.